seems to be recovered. Getting a consistent 5,000 bit rate, so hopefully things are all good.
So one of the things that chat brought up is that I saw kind of interesting was there was a comment that Snoop might have been better than
Oh no.
mana reducer that game. What do you think?
Potentially playing against Landon.
Oh no, we might get turn one here.
Yep, his hand's not very good. Okay, this is a turn 2 food chain. He kept 7, so we're like dead, but you know.
See, this is where I would I would mold to Elvish Reclaimer as mentioned in the Twitch chat. But unfortunately, we don't have main deck Graveyard Hate in our list here.
All right. So good turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Food Chain. We can't actually go up the chain yet. So I'm gonna put back the War Chief and then hope he doesn't have 2 discard spells.
I do think because one of the problems too is they assume we're probably on goblins, so I think we're just probably just dead game 1. Like we're conceding that game 1.
Yeah. But I mean, like, does Eric ever keep a 7 that doesn't turn 1 someone in any matchup?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't played Eric when I've been on a Force of Will deck, so it's hard to say. I actually wish, and this will never happen, I actually wish they would just print Force of Will, Force of Negation in every color. Then I think it would be more interesting.
All right, let's Lackey or Ancient Tomb?
Well, we can cast the Lackey right now, right?
Yeah.
I think we got to do that, right?
Yeah. It's just like so hard to. He's just gonna like entomb, reanimate Grizzlebrand. So.
I don't think we're gonna win regardless. To be honest.
I mean, I was thinking if there's Tomb, but then we're still one short of casting the Muxus.
Right, so. And not to mention they're just gonna like.
Yeah, we're gonna lose our whole hand. So.
Yep, leagues are no longer safe for non-blue players.
Yeah.
Which is like I said, I would take a natural order and a
Rip stream. No, stream. I've dropped 0 frames. Don't tell me rip stream.
No, I think you're okay. Like I can still see your stream. Yes, I agree with Splinter Fight.
It is your it is your end voice junk this time. All right. Well.
But yeah, I would trade a natural order and a Alshore Shepherd Ben just for a green Force of Will.
Sure. You know what? As far as draws go,
that's actually pretty good.
That's one of the best.
I mean, we're probably dead regardless. I mean, I don't know how many times you've beaten, Eric after Grizzlebrand has hit the board. For me, it's only a handful of times.
I don't know if I ever beat him drawing 21 with Grizzlebrand.
Okay. Yeah, the most recent time, he actually overdrew against me, and
that's kind of funny.
What's called? And I was able to kill the next turn because of it. But typically not a good matchup for any non-Force of Will deck.
Yeah.
I think.
Like, I mean, maybe the chalice decks are probably fine.
That's true. That's fair. Like especially the Moon Stompy Bear.
Yeah.
Like where they mess up their mana too.
Yeah.
I think against Eric, I'm like, and granted, I play late, but I'm only probably like 40-50%.
All right. For what it's worth, we had drawn Matron there. I think we win.
Wait, win?
Yeah. Because we can Matron for Muxus, up to Muxus there, and If you hit Sling Gang, you would have died, or
That's true.
Haste
We would
Lord.
still have to get a little lucky right off the hits.
Yeah. All right. So, I think I'm boarding a Null Rod because we don't
I
have.
actually don't think it's good.
I mean, what are our other cards? I mean, Mass Vandal, maybe for Animate Dead.
The reason being is if they get to a point where Rod matters, I think we're
Well, I
either
mean,
way ahead or way behind.
Rod can just strand pedal, and maybe he needs pedal to go off, right?
It's probably better than what else we have, to be
Yeah.
fair, I guess. Like, probably better than like a Crane Maker or something.
Yeah, like Creator Maker's doing the same thing of like blowing up artifacts, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And we probably want one War Chief, and we'll do this.
Yeah.
Gotta get lucky. All right, this is a turn 2 and a surgical.
Turn 2 with protection, yeah.
Yeah.
So the good thing is, like, I think we talked about this off stream before, but when you diversify your graveyard hate, it's like really funny for Reanimator players to deal with. Like, you play like one ley line, one surgical, one fairy. Like, it's like pretty problematic for them.
Yeah. Maybe Fairy Macabre is the card I should play when I'm playing Endurance.
Possible, yeah.
Because you can once upon a time for it, and it's a food chain. Technically, I guess you can't really get black. All right, we won. Cool.
I love it. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. That
I didn't even board in the Norrads.
I don't think it's good. Yeah.
On the draw, yeah. There's just like no way that works. All right.
Probably just run it back, right?
Yeah, it's like kind of straightforward.
I kind of hate these games against Reanimator. Like, even when I win.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
It just doesn't feel like magic.
Playing against Reanimator isn't magic. It's just not. There's no interest in anything resembling the game Magic.
It's funny too because like I've had this conversation. This is a good hand again.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation with a buddy of mine who also plays elves at my LGS.
We could beat Chancellor with the Once Upon a Time.
I know. Actually, I don't know if you've ever done it. It's actually really.
Oh no, he has a. Has a.
I've actually beaten Chancellor because of Once Upon a Time before.
Am I supposed to?
Depends. Do you need the land? I feel like
Well, we're not gonna. I guess I just let this go.
I think you let it go. Yeah, like force them to take the surgical.
Yeah.
If they want to take the Once Upon.
If he has the kill this turn with Chancellor backup, then it doesn't matter. Like if he has Chancellor discard and a turn 1 kill, good for you, Eric. The problem is we can't actually play this. All right, he's just turn 1 Chancellor and discard. Skilled game.
Well, see, but that's the thing, I think, right? Because unfortunately, we don't have forcible backup. Like, I think that's why.
I mean, this hand beats any Force of Will deck. They would need double force.
I think that's why I do like diversifying our graveyard hate too. Like, because that doesn't work against like a ley line, for instance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying play 4 ley lines. I don't even personally play 4 ley lines because I think it's diminishing returns too.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there is a lot of value in like maybe the first 2, for instance. Also, you don't expect to play against Reanimator in like bigger settings too.
Yeah, it's like very few people play Reanimator,
and the people who do always play it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, quick story about the Chancellor. I guess I've had it where they reveal turn 1 Chancellor, and then I happen to keep a hand by default. Obviously I don't know what they're on, but it has like Once Upon a Time plus Elvish Reclaimer, and I'm on the play. That's probably like one of the best feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I can proc their Chancellor and slam down Reclaimer, and then if I attack, then I win. And usually you do. You usually have, especially if they already wasted a Chancellor on one of the cards of the Chancellor. Right? I don't think we.
No, I don't
wait
think
for
I don't
it,
think
right?
we have outs. Yeah, I think we're on 0 outs.
So another thing there is, even though endurance plays nicely with our green cards, I do think that's actually why my elf list I don't run endurance because for me at least it doesn't seem to solve really the graveyard decks.
Mm-hmm.
Could be different here in this context, but
Yeah, I mean graveyard decks are definitely like.
I find it that graveyard decks can play around endurance much more easily.
Mm-hmm. The more easily than Leyline, you mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is what I mean. Right. Especially out of creature decks, because like imagine boarding enchantment removal against creature decks.
Right.
Even boarding enchantment removal in general is like not the best.
I mean, I've lost to more Serenities than I would care to mention, so I kind of disagree because I feel like the creatures don't
That's
matter.
fair. Well, that's fair. You do have Aether Vial.
I bet I'm boarding out either Vial.
That's fair. Okay.
Um.
So we're playing against, I think, Doomsday.
Yep. Okay.
What was the 7? I didn't catch that.
It was Once Upon a Time, Crater Maker Skirk lands.
Okay, so nothing relevant.
No. We're just getting turn 1. Cool. Love Magic the Gathering. Oh, he's playing great. Belcher. Cool. Oh. Oh, it's Spanish Inquisition.
They do play that from time to time. Pretty crazy.
Well, we managed to hit the oh, it's got Demi-Lich.
I forget. I don't think it was them, but maybe it was them who plays like this deck a lot. Storm player who I know is on this a lot. We gotta get our value now out of the mind break trap and the null rod.
Yeah, Norad. I guess
Is
Surgical.
Trashmaster good in this kind of matchup?
It lacking to Trashmaster offers some amount of disruption because it can interrupt double LED lines.
Sure. Okay, and I guess it's the increase on the clock.
Yeah, and also it's just like a decent clock. We saw there's an echo in there.
Yeah, but they would have to draw it naturally, right? I don't know if they can.
There's Infernal Tutor.
Oh, there is. Okay, so maybe it's worth it. I
Well,
don't know.
yeah.
Fury seems kind of bad here.
Yeah, Fury obviously. I'm just wondering, do Surgicals do anything?
If they could for Infernal lines, but
also, Cabal Ritual is also in the deck, so probably marginal value there.
mm-hmm.
Just kind of
seems reasonable, yeah.
Clicking
I
on
don't
cards.
know how good Crater Maker is, to be honest. Like,
I mean, yeah, I think it's more like we want
that's a drop, right?
Yeah, 2-drop in the chain. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Most might have like Defense Grid. No.
Yeah, we don't think we can keep that. Probably not, right?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't do anything till turn 3.
Yeah.
And Surgical is like kind of iffy against them.
Yep. Okay.
That's a lot better, actually.
I think Sling Gang is gonna be our best.
Just for a clock, right?
Yeah, fastest clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do. Our five is probably like as good a five you can get without having Muxus in the equation.
Mm-hmm. Let's hope they
I
respect
think the only other
Mind
card
Break
is
Trap or
maybe
something.
Minder Trap or something. Yeah,
Nope, not respecting it.
they never do. They never do.
All right, so they've
I think they
got
have.
their. It's a non-deterministic.
They're gonna go for it though.
Yeah. They draw 8 cards.
Pack also actually represents a business spell for what it's worth.
Summoner's
They had that
Packs.
weird. Yeah, they had this weird card. Plex, I think it's called. Where
Oh,
they
I
like.
didn't see that in the deck list, but
Oh, maybe it's not. I don't know. I played against some version of this, and I know that like some of the Spanish Inquisition people were excited about that card because you can pack for it
mm-hmm.
as a business spell. Like, because this deck makes so much mana.
Right,
Yeah, sometimes they just want another way to like draw into more cards.
makes sense.
Probably just did, to be honest.
Ravenous Squirrel.
That's a new one.
Okay, I guess that's another calling the weak target. Sure.
I don't know how often this deck
All right,
fizzles.
they have Tutor LED and Tendril. Like, assuming they have a Tendrils of Agony in their deck, we're dead.
Yeah.
Oh, also they can just tutor for Belcher as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Something I was thinking about too is there a reason why you don't play discard
In this deck,
in goblins in general, or
it
even in general?
requires too many black sources.
Hmm.
Um, and like Vial Goblins, you can't do it. Well, I mean, you can. It's not unreasonable. It's just like you have to make concessions. And
What's the Go ahead.
I usually don't like discard spells unless the discard spells have crossover between um,
Matchups.
combo and control. So like when Grixis control was a big thing, I really liked Cabal Therapy because it was good against the combo decks, but also it was really good against the him K command stuff because you could disrupt the Snapcaster chains.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you
like,
find therapy better than C's?
oh yeah, much
I
better,
personally like
much
C's better,
better.
but
I think
mm,
C's is pretty bad in Goblins. The therapy synergy with like Mogwar Marshall is too strong.
gotcha. Is this a
Uh,
keep here?
I think
I'm
so.
assuming so,
If
right?
you, yeah, if
Because
we
of
once upon a
what's
time into an ancient team. Also, I'm pretty sure we're playing against Vial Goblins.
Oh,
So
is that what they're on?
yeah, I played against them a bunch of times, and
Mm. So I think here, I think we just once upon a time before fetching, right?
yeah,
Because we want to hit a land.
yeah, we want to hit Tomb. Play a lackey here. All right. Well,
What's the black count in the normal golem
for
build?
non-goblins, for cards you can't cast off Cavern,
Uh-huh.
it's like 9.
So just barely on the edge.
Yeah. I bumped my recent list has a swamp in it, so it's up to 10. Because I'm trying to cast Warren Weirding. All right, no. Hmm. This is kind of tough.
Do you pick the blocker here?
And I really want, like, the greediest thing possible would be get ignoble, don't
Block.
don't block. Hopefully they don't kill it, and then you can go Food Chain, Fury, go off.
I'll defer to you what the right play is because I honestly don't know.
I mean, our only other line is like take the land and then like try to play the food chain on turn 3. We're probably gonna be dead by then.
I feel
So
like we definitely take the noble, right?
yeah,
Like that's I think, but it's like whether to block or not.
I don't think we're allowed to
And
block. I think we lose if we block.
okay, so what we I guess we just play and then just hope they don't
Yeah,
kill the
I'm
noble.
gonna get the forest here, so we don't get wastelanded at least.
That's heads up. Yeah, the forest coming in handy. Have you thought about what do you think about prismatic vista in this as a one or two of oh geez.
Well, all right.
That tells me that it's got to be mucks in our hand, right?
Probably prismatic vista. I have not considered. Yeah, maybe that's reasonable. All right, what you got?
Play the full 4, obviously.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected once they did that.
All right, so they got Ringleader and a Matron in hand. And a Skirk, okay. So ugh. I mean, I don't think we can play. I don't think discard in this deck would actually solve any problems. Is a thing.
What did they get off the Ringleader?
Matron and another Ringleader. So we have to Fury, or else we just die on the spot.
We're Fury pitching. We're gonna kill the monks sometime, right?
I think we have to kill Lackey, Pashlik, Skirk. Then we take 3 and what 8, 9, 10, 11. I think
it's a lot of damage.
We're probably just dead regardless.
I didn't know the well. I guess the stock list is playing what 1 now.
I have a main deck Fury in a lot of my lists.
One of my worst nightmares. Getting swept by an aggro deck game 1 is like one of the things that
yeah, that's
keeps me up at night. It's the other thing that like irks me. I guess maybe not irk. It's more like I kind of laugh when it happens. Is like getting play injured in game 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like super feels bad.
I mean, obviously, decks like Maverick, I'm not entirely surprised because I know they have it.
Right.
But when it's out like something like Delver, it's like, come on, man.
I don't know why he's killing the Fury because it's about to go to the graveyard. Oh, is he?
Maybe just
he's activating Pashlik. Okay.
I'm trying to think what's
no,
like,
that actually makes sense. Okay, but I don't know why he shouldn't ping the Fury.
I think the most tilting thing for me is like at the moment it used to be losing a Peacekeeper game 1. I think at the moment it's probably losing to something like Glacial Chasm or like a moat game 1.
yeah, game 1 moat sounds like a bad time. All right, we're at 6.
That's probably like the most tilting thing.
Do we have outs? Probably not with 2 fetch lands.
Yeah, I don't think so, right? I'm trying to think what even like keeps us alive here.
Oh, that's so tragic. Well, we can play Sling Gang actually.
Oh, to buy the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That tomb, keeping us real low though.
Yeah.
But you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
So if we like block, and then
we might. Well, we'll see. Right?
We're not dead since they didn't have.
We're not dead, yeah. We're gonna block 2 things.
We go to 5, or then we go back down to 3, but we can still tap the tomb, which is what matters.
That's true. Actually, tapping for the tomb is actually huge here.
Yeah.
That fetch looks kind of awkward though.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, you don't want to play the land drop yet. I don't think. We can go food chain into ringleader, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have to like ringleader into Muxus, and then
Actually, should we fetch here? Probably, right?
we're at 1.
Actually, we can. Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Ringleader Matron. That's really good. Oh my
Yeah,
god, we
that's
might
it.
steal this.
That's kind of. That's actually kind of insane.
uh
We ringleader again first. I'm assuming.
yes.
And probably float green, right?
Yes. Muxus and Archomancer? Oh my god.
I think we're doing it.
Our Sling Gang's exiled though, so we can't actually combo kill. We have to hit a War Chief somewhere along the line here.
That's quite unfortunate, but I think we at minimum can just like flood the board. Play all the greens. Well, probably float one green.
Yeah, float 1 green.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I should have cast the other Necromancer. And now we get... Is War Chief lethal?
It might be, but you have to be careful. Well, if they had removal, they would have used it, right?
Yeah, they would have killed the Sling Gang and killed me. I think it's lethal. So we exile
You know
Matron.
what you can actually do? You can actually matron for. Actually, that doesn't do anything. I was gonna say matron for more matrons, but
No, we actually can do that one time to make sure we get everything in play.
oh, to cast the thing that's in our hand too, right? For more damage.
Yep. We want to get green.
I just think Food Chain's a super sweet card in Goblins.
Yeah, you get to do some silly things.
Because it reads as like kind of one. Well, it's not. It's like 1.5 card combo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like everything pretty much turns it on. It's not quite natural order, but it's probably close. In the context of Goblins, I should say.
Yeah.
It's funny too. I was just thinking about it because I actually had to drive into work yesterday. I was like, what if we squeezed in the natural order package out of the sideboard? We technically have a high green count to pitch to turn it on.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I cannot believe we won that. Oh man. All right. Well then. Man, so the person we're playing against is someone who used to play Mono Black Reanimator all the time, and they famously for the stream typed before we played, "Good luck, have fun, big fan," and then they turn one Gristlebrand at me.
That's funny.
And now it's like kind of become a meme. But now they've switched to goblins. And they're like using my content to get better goblins, and we keep playing against each other. And I keep getting very lucky. Okay.
That's why we play Food Chain, though.
Yeah, like that. That is, yeah.
You can just steal games.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna trim Prospector.
Seems reasonable.
And
Fury's good in this match.
Yeah, Fury's gonna be really good. We want all the shatters. Maybe in a Narcomancer? Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
It hasn't seemed great yet, to be honest. That it was good in I think like the one game where it reduced our mana, but like besides that, it hasn't been too great. But granted, maybe we don't have the matchups for it. We
Yeah,
can
I
play
feel like this
small
is this
combos.
is this is great against Delver, where you can like play your shit around days all the time.
Makes sense. That is two mana 2/2, just like the high floor.
Right. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I'll shave one here. I don't know. It might be good to get around mana denial, right? Because Vial Import could mess us up.
Oh, actually, core check. I
A
don't know
Mass
why.
Bindle.
Yeah, this seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't know.
Vial seems like super important in this matchup. I don't know if I would have the one.
I mean, we have two Crater Makers and a Trash Master, so like maybe that's enough. Also, like
That's
a
fair.
1/3 is like actually very annoying for goblins to attack through. This hand's
Yeah, 1/3s tend to be the bane of my existence.
yeah.
Every 1/3 that's ever existed, I just want to do all kinds of vials.
I don't hate this
Right?
hand because
Or
it blocks a
Arcane.
lackey, and then we can also turn 2 blow up a vial. But then we have like nothing. But our deck is like all
Mhm,
action, right? We have like 12 top decks that are insane, just like 4
mhm.
matron for ringleader for Muxus.
Yes. Speaking of 1/3s, Mr. 1/3 himself is in the house. Romario,
Oh, hey.
Stasis Oracle.
Oh yeah, he is Mr. 1/3. You're right.
There's also Painter Servant. Like
Mm-hmm.
1/3s have been the bane of my existence.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Nothing good comes out of me seeing a 1/3 on the other side.
Oh yeah, we would have been dead if he hadn't pinged us. For...
So why did he say play an Elvish Reclaimer? Is that something I'm missing?
Probably because we put the forest. That's probably where that's coming
Hmm.
from.
It's gotta be Lackey, right? Yeah, makes sense. I'm debating how hard I should skew my sideboard to beat Doomsday this weekend. We'll see.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like
I
weird
do
because it's
think,
like on a competitive level you expect not that much Doomsday because it's like oh everyone's like oh Delver's really good and then tons of Doomsday shows up anyway. You know.
the Doomsday players are all very good.
Yeah, they're all good at like beating like winning their bad matchup.
Mhm. Shouldn't we have played the Hierarch there?
No, because I kind of want them to violence something to block, and then oh they pyrokinesis it. Nice.
Okay, that's actually good for us, yeah. Oh, we're just gonna blow up their vial.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I guess
It's a little awkward that I can't wait till end step.
makes sense, yeah.
Fortunately, they didn't have a lackey. Yeah, I think endurance is a card that's definitely reasonable to test, like especially with this iteration with enough pitch cards. But it's 60 tickets online, and I didn't really want to buy it.
So the other thing is we mentioned this kind of at the beginning too. Even though in theory it probably fits in nicely, um, endurance is the type of card that because we don't have force of will in our deck, they can potentially play around it kind of easily. And this is just extrapolating from my time playing the card in elves. I've found like I think I cast it against Doomsday players like 3 times. I think I lost all 3 games.
Mhm.
So take that for whatever it's worth. Hey, Bookish Matt. Yeah, glad you enjoy seeing me, recognizing me.
All right. Well, if we draw a Muxus, we can hardcast Fury and connect with Lackey.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay, that's strike one, I guess, for Squee.
yeah. I mean, we could just play it as our infinite 2/1.
For whatever that's worth,
Yeah.
right?
Bam.
I the games that I've seen so far, I feel like we don't need it. We could have we could have Fury for it. I think it could be like the second Sling game or something.
Second Sling Gang
Like,
probably.
I don't know. Like we actually, to be fair, we did win through not having access to the first one. So maybe it can be like, I don't know. Trying to think what we would want.
Yeah. All right, so opponent. It's a little bit stuck. All right, that was just a
It's an insane,
extremely
throw.
unfair top deck.
I'm loving this Ancient Tomb Muxus synergy though.
Yeah. So this is like Food Chain feels like Turbo Muxus, but just like way better.
Yeah, it's. I think you're right.
It's gonna get another one.
We just can't lose from here, right?
Exalted Squee.
Yeah, I think that so far, the impression I'm getting is I think the Once Upon a Times are a net positive for the deck because your Muxes get slightly worse, but I think your starts are more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe I'm getting so far.
Yeah, they've been good in the opener so far.
I think you can live with your Muxes being slightly worse.
Yeah.
Because I think getting a Muxes online is more relevant in needing full value.
Yeah.
Because this just feels really funny having the two Muxes.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right.
There's an infinite value now.
Yeah. Lethal. I think we have lethal. Yeah.
Nice.
Crater Maker, Pashlik, swing for 1, 2, 3.
So we're 2-2, and I think on the bright side, we probably won the two we had a chance in.
Yeah.
I think we do need to skew our sideboard to beat the fast combo, but
Yeah.
that was kind of expected.
Yeah, especially just the graveyard decks have been so. But also, like, we even had the surgical. Like I don't think almost any cyber configuration that doesn't involve Leyline beats Eric's game 3 hand. Chancellor, Unmasked, Turn 1 Grizzlebrand on the play.
That's fair.
Like, you can't expect to beat that with any reasonable configuration.
That is absolutely fair. Although I'm trying to think, how did the Spanish Inquisition game 2 played out? I forget. What did we have in our hand?
We had Lackey into Slingang and Null Rod, and they just killed us in turn 1.
Okay, yeah, we can't do anything about that.
Yeah. If we had turn 1 Null Rod, I don't even think their hand didn't have that much artifact mana in it.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on instead of playing Null Rod, maybe discard instead? Because it is a turn on, so it does allow us to have turn 1 interaction when we're on the draw, and I think that's probably the hardest game.
Right. This hand's kind of interesting.
I feel like
it's like infinite mana. Like literally, like I guess it's infinite mana into Hardcast Fury if we want.
I feel like it's a keep, right?
Yeah, it's like this hand's like super high upside. We even have a redundant Food Chain.
Payoff, like we just win, right?
Ooh, is it elves? This would be a pretty nasty hand versus elves.
I recognize that username. I think they're on post.
Okay.
How's the post matchup? Pretty good for traditional goblins, right?
Yeah, it's actually one of our better matchups. It's all right. Didn't need the third Food Chain. This list or Food Chain had an issue where if they put Pithing Needle and Slingang, you couldn't win through Chasm. But then I added Crater Maker. So like my first iteration didn't have a main deck Crater Maker, and that was like, oh, that's just like a fundamental flaw.
Do we kill the Reclaimer?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because there's just like a really high chance we can have the Fury in play as a creature next turn.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And 3/3 double strike gets shit done. Also, there might be elves, and then okay, looks like it's not elves.
I'm almost certain they're on Cloudpost. I think I played them kind of recently.
Okay.
I think we just hard cast the chain here, right?
Yep. I guess we just have to pass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our top decks are like extremely live. So Matron, Ringleader, Muxus, all insanely good draws.
Mm-hmm. We just need to avoid drawing more Food Chain.
Yeah. The third Food Chain was pretty bad.
Is there a way to tutor Food Chain in our colors or no?
Not that I can think of.
Mm.
Crop Rot for Yavimaya is kind of interesting.
They might be gating the.
Oh, they're going for
Yeah.
Dark Depths? Okay.
Yeah. I was just going to say.
Okay.
So we could just be dead here.
Yep, if we don't draw something, we're dead. It's a very good... Alright, we're dead. Cool. This is a very good... Oh, Ringleader next turn. Damn.
Yeah, we got... I feel like we have to kill the Reclaimer there.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that could be a misplay, but I'm not sure.
I mean, they had a crop rotation and the natural depths, so I don't think it actually mattered. Maybe it would be one turn slower.
We could have slowed them down a turn, right? Because they got the Yavimaya for the mana.
Yeah. Alright, now this is a matchup I'm kind of worried about. The Food Chain's getting blown up. Force of Vigor.
What blows them up? Oh, Force of Vigor. Gotcha.
So I kind of want to shave one.
Wouldn't that be more argument to be playing the full set, right? Because if they blow up one, we have the backup.
Maybe, but I feel like this is a matchup where we're kind of more interested in lackey shenanigans.
Oh, connecting.
Yeah, because they play very little removal, and then we'll have ignobles to push through reclaimers and also furies and creator makers.
Not to mention you have just a KO and Magus of the Moon.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna shave one Food Chain, and then from there is kind of tricky. Skirk's good against Tabernacle. Want to keep that in. I guess Anarcho discounts Magus, which is relevant.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I had a 1-mana moon against Depths, one of my Food Chain leagues. That was kind of sick.
Do we want Squee here?
We probably don't need Squee, yeah.
Yeah, it's felt by far the worst card so far.
Mm.
The mana has felt pretty solid for whatever.
Yeah, we haven't had any mana issues. That's a good point. All right, let's just kind of shit this for some reason.
It's one of the perks of playing Once Upon a Time. As a Once Upon a Time stand.
you are a stand for Once Upon a Time. All right, I think we're gonna.
Gamble's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think we ditch the Narcomancer here. I could actually see an argument to ditch the Once Upon a Time.
I feel like the upside is too high.
Yeah, because like we could find
Muxus,
yeah.
It's a card that I only put back if I have like a deterministic natural order turn 2 or something like that, or if I have the second one, for instance. It's kind of good too, right? I don't know what I put on the. What was
Just
the
lands.
Yeah, so it's kind of good right there because we just put all the lands on the bottom.
I mean, realistically, the reason I was thinking about pitching the Once Upon a Time is that realistically we're just pitching whatever we get off of it.
That's fair. It did dig us like 5 deep for whatever it's worth.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I like this play a lot. Like a lot of times the Cloudpost player will keep greedy hands. And they get like super punished if you like take off their claimant.
Yeah.
What are we tutoring for here?
Probably Muxus and just like be sad. I mean, we could matron for matron here. That would not be unreasonable.
Oh, just to be safe.
Yeah, because if they play
Yeah,
a blocker,
I do like
then
that.
yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I like that too.
It's bad against Tabernacle.
How is this version against Tabernacle?
Eh. All right, so
Because I know the other one you have Wasteland, right? That
yeah,
helps a lot.
it's definitely annoying. It doesn't interact with Food Chain though, which is kind of cool. Like Food
Mhm.
Chain, you don't have to care about necessarily.
Mhm.
All right. Well, now we're in an awkward spot. This is part of a weakness I think of the deck is like I feel like Vial Goblins would be in such better shape here because you can just remove the
Waste and hope.
reclaimers with like experts and stuff and not like eat your own hand.
Mhm.
I think we're getting Trash Master here.
Oh, just to pump everybody or what?
Yeah, pumps everybody and then
Deals with a pithing needle, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Like otherwise, I guess like Ringleader's also not unreasonable.
I do think one card that we should be playing is either a Tar Fire or some kind of removal though.
I
That
mean,
does
I
seem
had
like
one
a
Jump
plus.
Palm in all my lists.
Uh,
I think Jump Palm
so
is
that
pretty good.
yeah, I think you're right. I think that's kind of a blind spot for this list at the moment.
Yeah. I think I'm actually gonna go for Ringleader because we need a critical mass of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see in the next run swapping out the squee for like the gem palm that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was pretty good.
Oh. Yeah, we drew the other option that we thought
Yeah.
about getting.
So now I just get to play that and they have to block. Or else we get the Ringleader for free.
Have you played goblins in EDH?
I've
I
no.
just love drawing lords. It's like the best feeling. It's like it just changes like all the opponents' combat math that they had done previously just no
Right.
longer relevant.
Alright, well we bottomed 3 lands and a Magus, so that's pretty bad.
Why Magus of the Moon is not a goblin is beyond me. Should be a goblin.
I absolutely agree. 5,000%.
Actually, that one I can even live with. The one that is most criminal to me is Eidolon should have been a goblin.
That is extremely true.
That is the most
It
criminal.
is tilting that it is not.
I think goblins would be so much better if Eidolon
Yeah,
were
if you could just
around.
like Lackey hit you matron for Eidolon, put in Eidolon, just like
Just kill so many decks right there.
yeah. Alright.
Here I don't even think we. Oh,
Might get Chasm here.
yeah. See, looks like it.
Yep.
It's not lethal, is it?
No, they would
The,
take 10.
you probably just hold the food chain in hand, right? Don't expose it.
Uh, if they rotate
Is
for
there a reason to play it here?
Tabernacle, then I want my mana open.
Oh, that's fair.
So at this
X
point,
card is. Go ahead.
we're just looking for like Muxus into Slingang.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's up. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my elf matchup against Cloudpost has completely flipped 180 because I think it's actually very hard
Hmm.
pre-board, but playing the one wasteland the sideboard is just so huge.
That makes sense. Well, they have 9 mana next turn. I mean, yeah. Kind of ironically, if we hadn't Furied the one Reclaimer and we just waited,
Mm-hmm.
we would have won, I think.
Oh, is it? Why do you say that?
Because they had Reclaimer into Green Sun for Reclaimer. We
Mm.
just would have gotten both, and then Matron Muxus.
They may not have gotten the second reclaimer though if we left the first one alone.
That's true.
For what's
That's
worth.
true.
Yeah, they might. I would think they would get that actually. That card's quite annoying.
Yeah. Muxus.
Yeah, they could save it for prime time. That's another good observation.
All right. Well, we bottomed 3 lands, and then we drew 2 lands.
Is it possible maybe we can get away with cutting another land? Like we did flood a little bit.
Maybe.
It's a little greedy though. I'll admit.
Yeah. All right, here's Emrakul. Yeah, cool. All right, 2/3. I mean, we got turn 1'd 2 times. I mean, 2 different matches.
I think we won the matchups we were supposed to win. Minus maybe the last one. I don't know how that went.
Yeah.
I do think. Well, we didn't play Delver, so it's hard to gauge.
Yeah.
I do like the. Yeah, I think we definitely have a blind spot. We need the tutorable removal spell, and probably don't need the squee that you took out.
Yeah. I could also see an argument to just like ditch one of the Crater Makers for the Jump Home.
Jump Home is more efficient. Is that the reason?
Yeah, yeah, and also kills bigger things.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Stack.
I think the sideboard probably needs to hate combo a little more.
Yeah. Let's get another Mindbreak Trap in there.
I think because Rod feels a little slow on the draw.
Yeah. And let's try cutting a carpet and then playing like a Tormod's Crypt.
Oh, sure. You don't like this card?
I don't. I don't think that this deck realistically. If we have one
You just want haymakers, right?
Yeah.
That's fair. I can.
Like we could play. What could we play?
We can even play a ley line.
I don't know. The leyline thing I'm scared off by Force to Vigor, but maybe that's like maybe
it depends how often you think they're gonna hit both.
Right.
I haven't played the deck enough, but it's hard to say, right? Because if you think they're gonna hit both often, then it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But it does make it very awkward for them to board.
Yeah, I do like 2 surgical, 2 leyline as a sideboard split. That's like very effective.
Mm-hmm. How are the mana base? You think it's too greedy to cut another land?
Well, so if we cut a land, then like we're at 17 red sources now. And that's like that's good.
16 or 17.
Vial Goblins plays 16.
Gotcha.
But this deck is also more red intensive. And it also doesn't have Vial to like fix your mana. It does have Ignoble though, so like maybe that's something.
I do think Ignoble helps.
Yeah. Yeah. But as far as black sources for like a Cabal Therapy or a Thoughtseize, it's 9 plus Ignobles. But you don't like want to play your Mana Dork and then cast your Discard spell in turn 2. Like that doesn't.
Yeah, that's definitely not ideal. You don't play discard or cast on turn 2.
Exactly. And I think that's part of the problem is like you really want to play your proactive play on turn 1. You don't. Yeah, I just don't think that discard is the way to go here.
What about? Let me think. So I think the ley lines make you better against the graveyard-based decks. What about the spell-based decks? Red Blast helps.
Red Blast is like Show and Tell, Doomsday, Storm to some extent, and then like fair blue decks as well.
Is there a reason why you're playing Magus? Is there a specific deck you're trying to target out?
I mean, Post was part of it. Green White Depths. I think like Depths, Green White Depths is like really really bad for regular goblins, and I imagine it's just as bad, if not maybe worse for this version, because this version doesn't even have wastelands.
So I guess quick question here. The mana reducer didn't seem super great there. Do you think Snoop would be better here or not?
Maybe. I do think they work well together. Like, we don't have to play like I'm not married to 4 of Anarchomancers because there's diminishing returns, right? Like, you can only discount a matron 2 times, right? Like we have 2 war chiefs as well, so like we could go to 3 or 2 and then play Snoops with that, and like discounting stuff on the top of your library is really good.
I'm just trying to decide. I wonder if that's like win more or if it actually.
I think it improves your fair game plan. Like when you're not comboing, like if you boarded out the food chains.
You don't like the single earwig squad here?
I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna answer the problems.
Gotcha. Actually, you know what? It's kind of interesting. Speaking of big boys, that new 5/3 looks kind of interesting.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what the condition is on that, but like,
a creature has to die this turn.
I just remember thinking, oh, that thing's really big.
Yeah, that card is cool. I think you'd have to warp the deck around it a bit because you have to play like more echo creatures. You'd have to play more skirks so you can sacrifice stuff on demand.
Sure.
So, and it doesn't like work with Food Chain being an exile effect.
No, it would be more like the Vial Goblins. Because you can vial it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I do love the idea of vialing in a 5/3.
Like, it's like you have your own Tarmogoyf, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it does die to Bolt though, which is big time bummer.
Yes, Jack. Eli is playing with me.
Jack wants to join the call too. We've already seen what happens when there's 3 people, Jack. we know what happens there.
Yeah, Eli witnessed the too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. Let's do 2 Anarchomancers, 2 Snoops. I kind of like the idea of that.
To Jack's credit, it was actually his list we 5-0'd with last week.
All right.
Romerio's was only 4-1, which was my list too. Romero and I had the same list.
I mean, we could also do the Snoop combo thing. We could put in Harbingers and play 4 Snoops, but I'm not a fan. We'd have to add another Badlands probably because you have more black cards.
I think I like the consistency of this deck, to be honest.
Yeah.
Of this version. I think like you just play more bad cards, right? Like this one, the thing about Food Chain, from what I've seen from the first league, is like it's just always good.
Yeah. All right, let's get greedy. Let's add a 3rd Snoop and then cut a land. I think we want 3 basics, 2 Taigas, so I guess it would have to be a fetch. So let's cut a Mire. So 20 lands.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just didn't have the right matches for it, but the mana reducer didn't seem super important.
Yeah, I mean, it helped us go off in that Goblins game, the one where we almost died. I don't think we would have had enough raw material to actually swing for lethal. If not, it lets you like preserve more of your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You get more like combo-y turns.
Yeah. Sounds really good if we don't get lightning bolted. All right, opponent's last seen on Delver, so maybe we'll finally get to test that.
Your opponent is, I think, like one of the Moto grinders, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
It's funny too, playing against, being on the other side of Food Chain Goblins. Like, it's always my fear when they go turn 1 laggy, turn 2 hard. It's like,
yeah,
shoot, I don't want to just like edict myself every
Yeah,
time.
there's like no good way to interact with that for elves on the draw. Splitting hairs, but why cut Mire over Arid Mesa? I split fetches when I can, just because I have gotten Spyglassed on my fetches before, and it sucks. Tundra.
Yeah, Lackey plus Hierarch is sick. But yeah, I think Snoop is kind of interesting because they kind of have to answer it without actually knowing what's on top.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we main phasing the hierarchy?
I was just kind of assuming this Lackey's gonna die.
Oh.
I just fully believed it was gonna happen.
That's funny.
Oh boy.
I think that's probably fine for us, right?
Alright.
It's like interesting sequencing by them though. That you ponder first and waste, right?
Yeah. Okay, so this is probably the Jeskai Saga deck.
How's that matchup typically for?
For Vial Goblins, I think it's really good.
Oh, okay. Is there a reason why?
Their mana base is really bad. So
Yep.
Vial or Waste and Port are really good against them. And once you just like get a couple things in play, Ragavan stops doing anything, and then
You've got Sheer now.
I don't think so.
Okay.
We're fine drawing lands.
I guess you want to potentially.
Oh, nice.
Next. Ooh.
So is this
Or is
Ringleader or is
Days?
this Matron around Days?
I feel like it's Ringleader, right?
Yeah, I think it's.
Force them to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, if they Daze, then
Yeah.
like they're on nothing, and then we just do it again. Yeah.
I like. I'm gonna give out my trade secrets here. I rarely play around Days.
Hmm.
And oh, there it is.
Fuck Days. Days sucks. I hate it so much. Alright, so they have a Tundra in hand. Monkey. Sure. Ooh.
We bring here, right? Again?
I mean, we could Matron for Jump Palm and kill the monkey.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Seems like a really efficient turn.
I do actually like that turn. And if they're gonna force it, then they're just down 2 cards.
We'll get our Badlands. If they're going to Wasteland us again, they're probably going to hit the Tomb.
I don't think mana is gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
Especially with that draw.
Yep.
Now we kind of almost want them to waste us.
Yeah.
I think I played against them like I think they like top board a challenge or something. And then I played against them in the one of the previous showcase.
So it's a region.
Needless to say, the Elves Delver matchup is good for Elves.
Mm-hmm. Region's annoying. I think we are tapping this Tomb, though.
I think we're probably fine. Like, they could, I guess, in theory,
Double bolt us.
Sling Gang.
Yeah, if they force the
That'd
Sling
be
Gang,
bad.
that'd be bad. Yeah. Alright, bottom to Food Chain, which is kind of a bummer, but...
One thing I'm a little scared of is exactly 12, where they have a 6/6.
Yeah. Yeah, strictly speaking, we could have not played the Hierarch and not tapped the Tomb.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey, sure. Hmm. Well, we kind of have to... Man, it's too bad we used our Jump Palm, actually. We could have Jump Palmed this.
Yeah. How much mana? Like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Or just short of Sling plus Muxus.
Yeah.
They probably force it if they have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad we used the Gem Palm, right?
Yeah.
It would have been nice to me.
Yeah, it would have been really good.
Although, to be fair, well, that's good.
They
I
pull
guess to
out.
be fair,
Oh,
also,
stifle the ETB. Okay.
we're
Sure.
kind of happy about that, to be honest. I think.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll just block and pick up Bregavan.
I feel like probably not. Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, they know that they. Yeah. I think it actually makes sense.
Hmm. Well, maybe they have a brainstorm. I can see that.
Yeah. But, like, they know that they just have to hit me one more time after this turn. They're 19, so they just need to not take damage. This is a spot where Pashalik would be really good, but. Yeah, Sack Matron.
Yeah, we could have played a Passion. Although, we'd have to have enough mana. I guess we do.
All right, so the hand is Monkey, 2 unknowns. It's gonna be kind of hard to stand still. All right. And kind of disappointed to lose this. Ooh.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can cast. Well, no, we can't.
All right,
We
so
can.
we need to. No, we can't. If we go War Chief, Matron, Skirk. Nah. I think we need just the Muxus to hit another War Chief. We have to drain them for a little too, so we can tap our tomb. We're pretty dead.
Yeah.
Their hand lined up really well with how we played this.
Standstill is a card that I don't enjoy playing around.
Sure.
Like, the typical rule of thumb, I think, is you just crack it the first thing you can, right?
Yeah. All right. Our Muxus wasn't gonna hit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We could have played the Lackey not with Cavern, but we don't have Mogwar Marshal to get. All right. Red Blasts and Carpets and Magus is some appeal against Food Chain Fury is probably bad. Now, against fair blue decks, I've been cutting on Food Chains. Because, I mean, it's just like a worse carpet of flowers a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just like leave in one, or I could just I might just cut it and have the Magus in.
Fair.
Just trust in the Goblin's plan to be fine enough. This looks good to me.
Yeah, that looks fine. We know that they're going to be on. I don't know if Rod's worth it. Probably not.
Yeah, I'm not as worried about like a Retrofitter Foundry or whatever.
Yeah, that card seems pretty mediocre to me.
Yeah.
But apparently, control decks have a hard time with it.
Yeah. I mean, we could board in the Trash Master.
I don't think it's worth it, to be honest.
Yeah. I try to avoid boarding in Trash Master against Bolt decks.
Not to mention, it's just like, yeah, you're Bolt removal decks. I mean, Bolt plus Wasteland decks. getting 4 mana.
This is
This
interesting.
has to be a keep, right?
Yeah, it's a keep, but it's like, how do we sequence it?
You have turn to moon if you want to go for that line.
Yeah. We could also turn to uncounterable moon, but that involves cavern or tomb pass, which is not great.
Yeah, it's also a red flag too. Like
Right.
something's up.
I think I'm just gonna fetch mountain and pass.
Yeah, that seems reasonable enough.
Play around stifle.
I'm probably keeping Stifle against you or no?
Oh, they definitely keep in
You think
stifle for matron and
okay?
ringleader. Like,
Because I've seen people keeping Stifle against me, and I just do not think it's good against elves.
I'm not really. I wish this was not a fetch land.
Why is that?
I don't really want to cavern Snoop because of Bolt Wasteland, but I think that's like it's like what our hand tells us to do, and we kind of want to keep the fetch land to make Snoop efficient to like shuffle.
Yeah, I think you want to do that.
All right, mount on top.
They bolt that. That means you're slamming probably with Magus next turn.
Yeah.
That plays
Oh,
around days
brainstorming.
too.
All right.
Why they would not brainstorm a response? I wonder if they just took out days.
We used cavern.
Oh, sure, that's fair. Yeah, I it's been a while since I played Cameron still.
Just have your filthy Allosaur Shepherd, but all your spells have caverns. Like you have 10 caverns on the battlefield.
To be fair, though, I actually cut Cavern from my list even before Shepherd.
Oh yeah. I know. Like cavern's never been that good in elves.
It's been at most like a one-off. Like I've seen 2 when Miracles was big, but like interesting.
I mean, I think I just land. I don't want to draw the Once Upon a Time.
But you probably want to play Magus through days, right? Or no?
I mean, I think I just attack and pass here. Like they gonna play an Urza Saga, and then I attack again, and then they make a construct that's a 1/1, and then I attack again. Like
I think eventually you lose that race, though.
eventually, yeah. But I get like 4 free damage out of waiting.
Yeah.
Like I could just slam Ringleader this turn.
Yeah.
That would be reasonable as well. But I'll bump up
I'm
Newton.
trying to speak up more Atomic Booth.
All right, so we don't want to draw Once Upon a Time.
Well, you can ringlead right now, all right?
Yeah.
To get that off the. I think we probably should have ringleader last turn, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe that's better. Well, now I can Magus around days and blow up the Saga. So I'll attack.
Yeah.
I'll attack first and do that. Actually, I can go Anarchomancer, Tomb, and do that, but just have more stuff on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe Cavern Ringleader was better, but like we get to Stone Rain them if this resolves. And even if it doesn't, we're just like really ahead.
If it resolved, I think it's got to be bolt or bust, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah, Stone Rain, discard a card. Yeah. Nice.
If I were to guess, like one of those 8 cards is probably a bolt, but
They didn't bolt end step. Pyroclasm. Okay. Monkey. Lavamancer. Opponent's got all the hate. All right. Crater Maker. Late to the party. I guess I just want spawn time now.
I would do it on their end step.
Why?
Only because it conceals information. Like whatever you get here, you're not gonna be able to play, right?
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. I mean, they also know the Once Upon a Time is in my hand because of the Snoop, so that's part of something I don't like about Snoop is that you bleed a lot of information all the time.
That's fair. Did we actually get any value off that Snoop?
No.
Hmm.
That's why I'm largely in the Snoop sucks category.
That's fair. Sling, right? Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. Okay. Attack first.
Yeah. I was thinking we can 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 7 mana.
Yep.
We can Matron and Sling Gang.
I kind of want to get the Lavamancer off the table.
Sure, that's fair.
So fortunately, have to tap the tomb. Stifle? Sure. I'm just gonna Matron from Exus. We burned to Stifle.
We didn't have to tap the mountain, by the way.
Oh, that's true.
Mons is not in the deck, Jack, but it might. Maybe we should play it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Losing this kind of matchup would. Oh god, that's such a bad wasteland. That kills our black source. Oh, they hit the tomb? Okay. That's good for us.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Do we go try to get the
It's free attack.
long match off the table here?
Yeah, free attack first, and then
Is it free though because of the saga?
it's a 1/1.
No.
Like they're not gonna block, and they don't really want to use the Lavamancer on the Matron, so. I'll do it before the Lavamancer untaps, Jack.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Actually, I can wait here, see if they activate their Saga. So they're tapped out of Stifle. I guess we kind of want to eat a Stifle.
Yeah, you don't want them to stifle your muxes.
Yeah. I'm really surprised they didn't hit Cavern. I guess they don't have counter spells if they didn't hit the Cavern. Cage. Be kind of surprised if they had Cage.
Could be Cage.
I kind of expect Pithing Needle. No, Retrofitter.
That seemed like the worst option of the three.
Yeah.
Worse as in better for us. Cage on Muxus is kind of funny if you think about it.
It's actually bugged.
Is it?
Yeah. It doesn't do anything.
Oh, that's right. I think I saw vintage players complaining about Oath and that interaction.
Yeah, it's same thing.
Ugh.
All right, I guess we're dead. We exiled. Wow, our Muxus was bad too. So it doesn't actually. Really, we would have hit a Matron and a Lackey. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're dead. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, this is a matchup that I think is very good for Vial Goblins, and we kind of saw some of the weaknesses here. We don't have. I mean, Vial is insane against a standstill strategy. And then we didn't have the removal to like efficiently like Crater Makering Lavamancer is like way worse than experting or jump palming it.
For sure.
It's way less efficient. And then we didn't have Wastelands for Saga. We got to Magus one of them, which was good.
I wonder if it's possible. Maybe we should just be playing experts and just be a little greedier.
Yeah.
Because our mana has felt for what it's worth, has felt rock solid so far.
Yeah.
That's probably like the most redeeming factor so far, I think.
Yeah.
Like I think all 6 matches we played, we haven't had any issues.
That's true. Jack, yeah, I'm playing the showcase. I've got like 100 QPs.
You know what you can do, right? You can enter the sealed event.
Yeah.
Just to like get value out of it.
Oh, all right. Actually, I gotta run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back, folks. Just give me a second. All right. Also gonna grab some more water. Newton, you go ahead and do so as well if you want.
Sure. I'll use the restroom break real quick as well.
Okay. Alright, we're back. Okay. So, something I was thinking about. When I first started playing Food Chain, a lot of my lists had, or all my lists had Mog War Marshal in it. Because it's a 2-drop that makes 4 mana with Food Chain, but also like adds some durability to the deck. I feel like there's a bit of a problem that everything that isn't Matron, Ringleader, or Muxus trades 1-for-1 with removal, and so Wraths get really effective.
I was thinking about that too, actually. As I was using the restroom, I think we either want the Mog War Marshal, as you mentioned, or Munitions Expert for the same reason. Oh, this person is always a mono red.
Okay.
Stompy.
Gotta look for our basic forest. All right.
That's reasonable, right?
Yeah, this seems fine.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played against this player and they weren't on mono red.
Okay.
Oh, it could be a turn 1 Blood Moon. Or Trin Sphere.
Trin Sphere would be annoying. Blood Moon, War Boss. Sure. Gem Palm Incinerator be a good one. Crater Maker's not bad.
Yeah. I think I was gonna say, do you want to fetch it first?
Yeah. Okay, well we found Ignoble, so.
Yeah, it didn't actually end up hurting us.
And we'll fetch out our forest while we can.
Yeah. Only reason why I say that is because we hit 5 things we can choose from. If it was the forest, that would have sucked.
Yeah. Jeez. Turn 2 Hardcast Fury. What the fuck?
Yikes.
What the fuck, man? What kind of draw is that? That's obscene. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's literally lethal, so.
I think we just had to play Kramer and just like chump the.
Well, we can. We can trade with the War Boss. Take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Go to 2, and we have no outs, yeah. So I guess we had to block. Here's the Chump Fury. But then I don't know how we get out of that.
We could chump the War Boss there, right?
But then we're too low. I don't think we can get out of that.
Sure. I think we're just dead here, right?
If we go Snoop, Hierarch. Yeah, still dead. Man, that is an insane Moon Stompy start. I don't think it gets any better than that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Fury has made that deck better for what it's worth.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, better against the creature decks only.
Yeah. But I guess that was like its main weakness, right? It's like you can.
Yeah, they can beat the control decks. Yeah. I think the only thing that like I'm most afraid of actually out of Moon Stompy is like turn 1 3-ball is like pretty annoying for me.
Yeah, because you're not that likely to have 3 actual lands in your hand, right? So you can just get like totally stonewalled.
Usually you have 2 to 3, but like it just if you have 2, it's just like just praying for that third one just takes forever.
Right.
Not to mention if they have any clock, you probably just lose anyways.
All right, Newton.
If they go like turn 1 3-ball, turn 2 like either Rebel Master or War Boss, you probably just lose on the spot.
How much do you trust?
The reason, okay, we're on the play. Do you think we connect here?
Post board, probably not. Honestly.
Like, you think they had the turn 1 removal?
Or just like a turn 1 Rabble to block.
Because if you think you connect, I definitely keep.
Yeah.
But if you don't think you're gonna connect,
I think it's very high
um,
risk, and we probably don't need a risky hand to win this
sure,
matchup
sure.
necessarily. Ugh. I'm keeping this, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're connecting against Bone Crusher Fury or a blocker. Like, that's just
Mhm.
a long list of things that hand would lose to.
Yeah. Not to mention the second once is almost like a mole already.
Right. Yeah, that was a big part of it as well. So we would have had to draw on like hit the land off the once and then hit another land um to cast the Snoop.
So do you just get the force here?
Yeah, probably. I'm actually wondering if I'm even supposed to play a Creative Maker here because this is extremely telegraphing Bone Crusher Giant,
Mhm.
and I don't want to get a Creative Maker into play until I can activate it, so I'm actually not going to do it.
Makes sense. Yeah, and they could have just had the bone crusher, and then we're just like, our hands a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. And next turn we just go Creative Maker, hold up, Creative Maker activation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is.
Heads up play, yeah.
Mm. It's probably better to play that than the Creative Maker this turn. I haven't cast a spell yet. I can just cast it for free.
You can do it for free. Actually, that's kind of funny actually that this happened.
Fury or Snoop or Ancient Tomb. Huh.
I feel like maybe the tomb because you want to get some muxes earlier, or what do you think?
Oh man, it's close.
'Cause you can go like Crater Maker, eat their like mocks right now, and then just like try to buy time the muxes hits the board maybe. I
Yeah,
don't know if
like
that's the
block
best plan.
sack, blow up Mox.
Or even preemptively blow up mocks. That like can work too.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
how to
kind of
feel
want to
that.
keep him off. I don't want to take 4 damage for free.
Sure, sure, that's fair.
Uh, man. I mean, I think it's the tomb.
I feel like it's the tomb as well, for what it's worth.
Just because if we get to the Muxus, we'll win.
Right. And the tomb means we get there a turn earlier.
Mm-hmm. We also just like get there guaranteed, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
There's no kind of no more variance on that front.
Not to mention, it actually makes some of the other top decks just a lot better too.
Right.
Like any like Sling Gang or like.
Okay.
All right, now we just blow up the thing then.
All right. Well, good thing we didn't keep the 7. Would have been super fucking dead.
Yeah, it was like tempting. That's why I don't know the matchup well
Yeah.
enough. That's why I asked you. It's like if you think you hit, I definitely keep. But if you don't think so, it's like real sketch.
Back when Moon Stompy was an actual prison deck, I think you
Uh
keep it.
uh.
But I don't think I think those days are over. It's basically an aggro deck that has a few prison cards.
Mhm.
I am missing Rashad Part right now.
Yeah,
Stomp my face. Okay.
I've actually had opponents, Brazen Bar
Mm-hmm.
targeting my elves, and then what I'll do is I'll just
You just
bounce
bounce
it with
them.
the so they can't get the flyer.
Yep. Uh, take 4, go to 9, then go into 7 to play the Muxus. Yeah, that's probably fine.
Be careful of the can Shatter Skull target face?
It cannot.
No, right? Okay. All right, there it is.
They play Goblins when 400 when ports were $300 each. Not on Moto. Not on Moto. I was spared of that.
Oh
Alright.
god.
Alrighty there. And a draw 3. Fortune. None of those 3 are like super good right here though. But
I just love seeing Muxus like
yeah,
connect for like a million,
yeah.
essentially. I mean,
Uh,
I've been on the other side of it too,
let's get a
to be
sling gang
fair.
so we don't get burned out.
Yeah, I like that.
Alright, they conceded.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, they're pretty dead.
I,
Let's do
See,
that again.
this is exactly why I want to play Once Upon a Time in an Asian Tune deck.
Yeah, no, that's a good. That's very good point there. Honestly, I'm a little interested in Mass Vandal because it blocks kind of well. I guess it doesn't block Bone Crusher well, but it blocks. It doesn't
It
die to
blocks all the
Stomp.
1/1s.
It blocks all the 1/1s and it blocks War Boss.
Mm-hmm.
So it blocks 1/1s and 2/2s, which is kind of cool. And then it could blow up.
How relevant is War Chief? It
I think
seems
War
kind
Chief's
of
pretty good.
you do okay. I was just gonna say because it dies to like all the removal and like it doesn't do anything right away.
I think it's like if you untap with War Chief against them, it's a little dicey to do that, but if you do, you're like super favored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the takeaway so far is I think what you mentioned earlier about just getting value out of your 2 drops.
Yeah.
I am on board with that. I think because Snoop does seem kind of inconsistent, especially post board once we
Yep.
thin our deck. Uh, Probably the either munitions expert or the Mog War Marshal look pretty good right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you just need something durable, like something sticky that'll keep the board at parity. Okay. I don't hate this.
I think that looks good to be honest.
Like, they gotta kill this, they gotta kill that, and then they gotta kill the War Chief. Turn on Moon, sure.
Luckily, you're a mono red deck for the most part.
Ooh, that's a really good draw. They might just like play a creature and then die.
Yeah, you just pitched the Lackey, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they tap out.
Yeah, they're dead. Unless they have Fury red card as their last cards here, which I don't think they do.
I mean, I think they're just dead, period. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
All right, time to spin the wheel.
Oh, God.
Okay. This
It's all over.
Muxus is just ridiculous.
It's all over. Our ringleaders are bad. Doesn't even matter.
No, I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, 0 mana draw another copy of itself is it's basically Squadron Hawk.
Okay, that was fun.
All right,
That was fun.
that was good. That was good.
Yeah, I think if I were to run this in a league, I'd probably just run the same list we're running back, but probably no Snoop and then add the.
War
I
Marshals.
probably need to test it more, but I probably defer to you whether War Marshal is better or I feel like munitions upside is just too high not to play.
Expert, yeah, expert's good. It's just like, ooh, this hand's pretty good. Black red is not nothing.
Yeah, but it would be replacing. Keep in mind the black green. Sorry, the red green from the mana reducer, right?
True. But there's a lot. You don't want to fetch Badlands in this deck very much.
That's true because we've essentially become a 3-color deck.
Yeah. Wow.
Ugh.
Duress hitting against goblins feels bad, man. I guess like we go Lackey into Ancient Tomb Matron for Muxus, and that might just get there.
Try to win, yeah, on the spot. I will say, so they're probably on Ant.
Yeah, it's either Ant or Doomsday.
I don't know. Does Doomsday still play Duress right now?
Rarely.
Maybe, right? I feel like we fetched, right? Thin out.
Yeah.
There's no way they're on Wasteland.
Yeah, I'm just
I have a
thinking.
duress deck.
Um,
Alright, Tiger, right?
yeah, I was just thinking. We don't like if we got a Sling Gang into our hand. All right, so it is Doomsday. I don't know. I felt fine cutting Lackey in this deck. We're just okay, sure. Turn 1 Duress, Daze you, Dark Ritual Doomsday. Very, very good hand. Who needs cantrips?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Just last night, actually, I played against a Delver opponent, and I feel actually really good against Delver in general. And it's funny too. I have this joke where I feel the Delver players I lose to tend to be the less experienced ones because they keep hands with like no disruption, and then or they just happen to draw like the no cantrip, Delver, Daze, Bolt, waste you, and then just like no cantrip to the first like 5 turns.
Yeah.
And those are the hands that are like unbeatable, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we basically have I mean if they have a bit of a slower pile and we top deck Food Chain, maybe.
Well, I'm expecting them to win next turn, right? Like
Yeah, I mean
they would have to screw it up.
the only reason they wouldn't would be if they're trying to play around a Wasteland. But
I think given that they've seen
yeah.
Food Chain.
Yeah, since they've seen the Food Chain, right? Which is kind of unfortunate.
It's funny too because I've actually gone speaking of playing around Wasteland, I've actually gotten a Doomsday player because I play one Wasteland in my sideboard for elves because you can just tutor for it, right?
Right.
In game 2, I stole game 1, and then game 2 they saw it and that they beat me anyways, but it helped me because game 3 they played around Wasteland and then that bought me actually another turn.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, like they could have killed me the next turn, but they played around Wasteland, and that was just enough for me to one turn, especially out of a combo deck, is huge.
Right. All right, so yeah, this is just maximum speed Doomsday deck with Pact Negation. I really hate that Doomsday has just become more and more like
easy.
Well, yeah.
I actually enjoyed the old, DDFT list, Doomsday Fetchland Tendrils, but Thought of the Oracle has made the deck. One of the downsides of it getting better is it's also easier, and by definition, easier means less cool.
Yeah.
I think.
It doesn't really matter what we get here, so I'm not going to think too hard about it.
Yeah, Labman's awesome, Jack.
All right, so there's a theoretical universe where if they don't kill me this turn, then we can draw Muxus and then like do Skirk, Warchief, Lackey, swing, put in Sling Gang. Oh, they build a slower pile.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they respected either the removal or the Wasteland, or both. So what's the line here? Skirk to haste Lackey?
Yeah. Fortunately, not going to be good enough.
Yeah, you needed to draw the.
Yeah, we need to draw the Muxus or the Sling Gang.
Interesting, Oscar Pod. Care to explain what you mean by that? How does Doomsday make Bant better? I would think that Doomsday has a good Bant matchup, but maybe I'm wrong. Well, I guess Bant has Endurance now. Endurance is much better ironically, in a blue deck than in a green deck.
Is it even ironic at this point? We should all just expect that cards that are good are better in blue decks than all the other decks.
I have a exception to that rule. Maybe that's just the exception. That's what it is. I do think Reclaimer is better in non-blue than it is in blue.
That's fair.
And but also kind of along the same lines, Once Upon a Time too.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Which is
Once
not
Upon
really
a Time
a
is just like redundant in blue decks. All right, boarding a bunch of stuff. All right, Snoops are probably not relevant. Honestly, Food Chain seems like... Is it weird to say too slow?
I feel like you need a way to win fast, so I think you kind of have to play it, right?
But like, Lackey's my way to win fast.
Yeah, that's fair, but they're not mutually exclusive, though, right?
Yeah. The like... I don't know.
I feel like you probably cut. You like Magus? Interesting.
Yeah, because if you get into play quickly, then it makes
I guess we do have ancient too.
Yeah.
I don't think we need the
Uh,
makers.
they have Plague Engineer in the board sometimes.
Ooh. Yeah, but not always though, right?
I guess, yeah, I don't know. I'll leave in one Critter Maker. I mean, it also is for the chain. All right, this hand sucks. This hand... Ugh. Keep? No way in hell. The 7 is a keep. This is... Turn 2 War Chief is like pretty good, and the Once Upon a Time could hit stuff. The War Chief's potency is really diminished in this list because it doesn't have pile drivers to go with it.
Yeah, War Chief hasn't seemed super great, except for just putting the muxes in.
Right.
Like giving them haste. I don't even know if it's necessary, to be honest. Like, I think this is a mole, right?
I don't know. Might be okay. This
like would the if the Once Upon a Time hits, let's just say
Slinging's the best hit, but it could hit Matron as well.
I feel like we can't just try to goldfish against them. Like, not with this hand, at least.
This is worse.
Ugh.
We haven't seen any of our cyber cards, which is kind of annoying. We boarded in like 6 or 7.
I feel like we have to mold this too, right? I ideally just want to see Lackey plus Muxus. That's just like what I want to see. I think we keep this. Mold the War Chief too, or no?
Yeah.
Then we just hope that once hits the.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I think we wanted to fetch there, right? Because we want to maximize.
We didn't want to hit any of the cards we bottomed, though.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, what I'm saying is maybe I think we wanted to fetch there first because we didn't want to draw Taiga. Or see Taiga in the 5.
Good thing we hit a redundant Lackey. I don't know. I think we should have kept 6. Turn 2 War Chief means that if they cast Doomsday, they can't pass the turn because then they die.
That's fair.
They just have turn 1 with force backup. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. What a brainless game. This is like really frustrating playing against Doomsday. Is like, oh, they have to think so hard and like figure out so many things. It's just like, nah, force with turn 1 with force backup. Like, who cares?
So Jack, I know you've lost to Endurance, but like, I don't know if maybe they caught you off guard that time. Like, does Endurance out of a non-blue deck actually beat Doomsday? I mentioned this earlier, but I've cast Endurance 3 times against Doomsday, and I lost all 3 games. So for whatever that's worth. Like I feel like it's out of a non-blue deck, it's pretty easy to play around.
I don't know. Is it? Why is it?
Because what they can do is just either put discard or pack a negation in their pile, and then like that beats it if they suspect you have it.
I don't know. That seems kind of cumbersome to me.
I'd have to ask other people with a larger sample
Okay,
size.
they didn't put Cavernous Souls in their pile.
Huh, you might have a chance. Check if they used Force of Will already.
Yeah.
Days.
So force, days. So all the
I see
forces,
all
4 forces. Do they have days backup? 1,
2, 3. They might have 1 days. I don't know if they're playing 4 or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pass and
You just pass and hope.
they just have so they have turn 1 Doomsday with force days backup if that's what they have.
Oh, they're on the Emrakul plan.
Okay, that seems like a terrible plan against the Creator Maker deck.
It does. I'm not agreeing with that. I don't think that's good against you.
That's like hideously wrong to do, but okay. Cool.
I don't think you should be going for that plan against like a really fast aggro plan. But we just don't have the
Oh, the punish.
yeah.
I mean, this is another cost of not playing Wasteland. Like, this literally never works against regular goblins. All right, cool.
Yikes.
Cool games.
That was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, those are insane Doomsday hands, right? Like, turn 1 with protection twice.
Can I see the sideboard again?
Yeah. Like, I don't know how often, what likelihood of having what's your likelihood of having Dark Ritual Doomsday in your opener, and then also having Force of Will?
It's like 16%, but to be fair, against a non-blue deck, they often mulligan aggressively for it.
Yeah, but they didn't. But like, they didn't. They just had a 7. Like, it's different if they have to mold a 5 to get it. Yeah, but
I do think there's room for whatever it's worth, improvement on this list, and we kind of touched upon it earlier with the the better 2-drops.
yeah, Stryfo. All right, this could be interesting. Nope.
Rod hasn't felt great for what it's worth too.
What hasn't?
Because we've been dying on turn 1.
Yeah.
Like, too many times.
Yeah. I'm bottom of the forest.
I feel like this hand is really good. Like,
should be, yeah.
If the once is like any payoff, and it's like kind of redundant too because we have the Ancient Tomb. There's a Ringleader or Matron.
Let's get Matron. We can turn 2 Muxus. Uncounterable.
It's nice.
All right, Chase, you better have your, like, 1 Lightning Bolt in your 80 cards. Oh, and we hit Food Chain. I think this is better.
They could have the 1 Fatal Push, but we're not playing around that.
Yeah.
Oh,
come on. That's fine. We just cast Food Chain next turn and win.
We can cast Food Chain next.
I hate Once Upon a Time in regular goblins. I think it's really bad. Wow.
Jesus.
Okay.
Not all is lost though.
Redundant Food Chain is actually good.
I actually think we're still favored from this spot.
Oh yeah.
Like any creature just means that Mux is coming down.
Mm-hmm.
There's your creature.
So
We can't cast the Fury. Well, I guess we could technically. If you want to speed it up a turn.
yeah, I'm one short.
I don't think the war chief is that relevant. So yeah, I think I like this line anyways. If they want to force it, so be it.
I have trophy. That's actually fine. Hilariously enough.
Well, we can't cast Muxus this turn though.
Oh, right, because don't have a thing in play. Right. Do you play the other food chain? I guess so, because if he's gonna trophy, it gets us up to 6 mana.
Yeah. I think maybe hindsight's definitely 2020. I wonder if we should have cast the food chain there like sequence it that way instead. So when the Fury's on the stack, they can't do that.
Oh my god, that's like the only bad draw in the deck.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. That does work, Creamides, but we are 1 mana short. Oh, now he hits the cavern. Oh my god, we're totally gonna lose. Ugh.
This is not brutal.
All right.
All right. Well, now we're in business.
No force. Draw 4.
Holy shit.
Okay. All right, so
Maybe Snoop can do some work here.
yeah.
I think they kind of have to force that. They have it. Yeah, there's the force.
And then
Why not cast the Sling Gang there?
I don't want to exile the Sling Gang.
Oh, sure. That's a good point.
Double
Yeah.
force. All right,
Oh, they're
Chase.
hellbent now. Well, I guess they're gonna have Euro next time.
Yeah, we're. Oh, he doesn't have green. Oh. You son of a bitch. You gotta be kidding me. We'd 4 mana, 3 mana War Chief, 4/1, exile War Chief, 5. Maybe we did have it, but then we just got a forced and died. Well, well, well. Mr. Stryfo does it again. You get the push for the lackey, trophy for our cavern, double force of will. Probably adds Yorion. No, second arrow. Okay.
We could top deck a Matron or Muxus here and
Yep.
be back in the game.
Yep.
Ugh.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I
mean,
also think I don't remember the exact same board state. Maybe this game is different too if we had sequenced properly on the one turn where they trophied us. I would have to think back to what that board state looked like though. I don't think we're well. Maybe we're dead. I'm not sure. I mean, top deck Mux is like probably gets us back in the game. Maybe.
Yeah. It's crazy to me that he didn't force the ringleader. All right, cool. Like he forced Snoop, but not ringleader that drew 4 cards. It like doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Maybe he figured he'll just force whatever you ringleader into, because on average ringleader will hit 2 cards, and then he just was playing the percentages.
I guess. 2 surgicals. Don't need Skirk. Fury's like not terrible, honestly. Like hardcast to kill a DAC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's great though, to be honest. But do you like War Chief in this kind of matchup?
Yeah, you need haste to like
Do you need haste?
to not be behind. Is Carpet? I feel like Chase can fetch around Carpet really easily, but maybe not.
Um, like it depends. Are you trying to get like 2 mana out of it? I think it's like probably still good,
Yeah.
even if they have the hand that can play around it. I think it's still good.
I feel like Hierarch is worse than Lackey on the play here.
Yeah, probably true. Like you're gonna be able to develop.
I guess I'll cut the Fury because we're at 28 goblins. I'm just gonna have 1 Carpet. I don't think I'll want to draw more than 1 ever.
So I know earlier against Delver you cut Food Chain. What's the logic for keeping it in here and not there?
I don't want to play super fair against Chase's deck.
Mm. That's fair. That's a good point. This is like kind of insane, right?
Yeah, I think I bought him the Food Chain. I want a redundant Lackey.
Yeah, that's fair. And then not to mention the ones can hit like a matron or something.
Or Cavern. Ringleader or another Tomb?
I feel like it's Ringleader, right?
Yeah.
Because what that does is it makes every land drop good now.
Yeah.
And if you don't draw, and you draw creatures, that's fine too. I think.
He forced the Lackey but had Bolt? I guess he top deck Bolt.
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Jeez. I knew this would happen. It's just like, I mean, we're getting punished for cutting a land.
Wait, did we cut a land early?
Yeah, we're on 20.
Oh. Yeah, I never like messing around with that unless, well,
I mean, I don't mean like I cut a land from the side, like in sideboard. I just mean this build has 1 less land. Oh my god. Come on. All right, dude.
not good for us. Yikes.
Gonna quit. Gonna fucking quit Magic the Gathering. Second deck. All right, dude. I think it's like surgical or bust, basically. Yeah, it's
I got a little late, but
extremely late. Yeah.
how many lands are we playing right now?
20.
21?
20.
Oh.
We were on 21 last league.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it makes sense because we want to see, at least for science,
Yeah.
whether cutting that land would hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
It's hurting us a little bit here. A
Yeah.
lot here, actually. So if nothing else, it's a good data point.
Sure. He's got Punishing Fire. He doesn't have blue. This is just like, I miss Wasteland so much. Like, it's just like, nothing's good.
You know what I was thinking about since you mentioned that? Maybe what's important here is because the color fixing has been, for the most part, like decent. Maybe we just play with, like 1 or 2 Wasteland in this build and keep it at 21 lands.
Maybe.
What's the
We gotta get Lackey and
Lackey.
force him to spend mana on
That
removal.
makes sense. I was just gonna ask, yeah.
Nice,
why
let's push.
the,
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna
the-
skip. We can't win. Like, it doesn't matter that we have a million cards in hand. Like, can't beat Uro from this spot. Rough.
Well, yeah, pretty brutal. There's a chance they whiff on the other blue source, but
Not with Dak. Like,
yeah, he went through so many cards already.
yeah. Like, I just I'm off of it. Tilted. Yeah, deck hasn't been performing super well. Definitely miss out the mana denial, and like that's why I like Vial Goblins so much right now. Is like I feel like I get so many wins from Wasteland and Port.
For sure.
And
Yeah, the combination of Wasteland, Port, Lackey, Vial is like the core.
Yeah, and I also think you miss out a lot right now. The problem I experience with Food Chain the more I play with it is that it's very bad at. It's like it's very all or nothing in that in terms of producing damage, it doesn't produce a steady stream of damage. It produces like 0, and then it's like, oh, I did my thing, and so now I'm.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean by that. It's like once you crack through, then the floodgates open.
Right.
But if the floodgates never open, you probably don't do much.
Yeah. Hi Chase, thanks for the raid. Absolutely murdered us. You and your. I mean, yeah, this hand's good. You and your having the answers. Oh, we're gonna get turn 1 again. Cool. We're having a great time here on this stream.
It looks like they're on Hogak. Oh, sorry, not Hogak. The
Madness.
The Madness deck, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. You have 2 of your best cards. Cool.
They're probably gonna end step
Well,
3 drop. I don't know what it's called.
Anya's Ravager.
Yeah.
Well, if they had that, wouldn't they've done it already to get Vengevine procs anyway? Yeah, we got Turbo Doomsdays as well. We got turn 1 with force backup twice. We went into Spanish Inquisition. We've run into Reanimator. We got turn 1 with Chancellor plus Unmask.
We got turn 1 a good amount of times.
We got turn 1 a lot,
Chase, by the way.
which is pretty shit. Only turn 2 with force backup twice against. Yeah. All right. Maybe opponent gets too greedy here, and then we get to like jump on. Yeah, Ethan was on SI. Yeah. I wonder if they crack a looting here to, or crack a LED here to loot. Oh, I also have Ravager. Jesus Christ. All right.
Did it feel like we missed the second or third Fury? Not really, right? Like
Not really.
losses are typically against combo.
Yeah, we've gotten comboed a lot, and then Chase killed us with a pretty good draw. All right, they just attack. Oh wait, not everything has haste. Okay. If we draw, actually, we can Mux this next turn. Actually, we'll have exactly enough.
We actually, if we Mux this next turn, we actually have a good chance of just stabilizing.
Yeah, I mean, They hit us for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, do we have?
I
I think we
found
have
this
to block,
deck.
actually.
Uh, I found this deck to be to have trouble punching through once you
8,
clog up the board.
11, 12, 13. We only have to block 1. So
8, 11, 12, 13.
block with the Skirk. Or yeah. Block a hollow one.
I can't imagine that they're gonna allow us to attack though.
Yeah, are they really gonna let us hit with Lackey? Maybe they are. Oh no, they just have
No,
3
it's too good to
LEDs.
be true.
Cool. Fucking whatever, dude. Okay, so if we draw a land, we can jump home the Ox. All
That's
right.
all I talking about.
All right. Going to 1. Going to 1. It's fine. It's fine. All right.
We have to actually get super lucky too on
Yeah, I'm not even sure
the
what
Muxus hit.
this Muxus hit can, because the Sling Gang's in our hand. If the Sling Gang wasn't in our hand, our odds would be way better. Cool. We hit 0 out of 6. I love Magic. I love Magic the Gathering. It's a cool game.
I think you want the Survey Goals. Probably the Malleable Trap too.
Yeah.
And the ley line.
Yeah. Trashmaster Pro Hollow one is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that is cool. I actually got a Force of Vigor, a hollow one, like not too long ago,
That's nice.
which is pretty nice. That matchup from the Elves perspective is two ships passing in the night essentially.
Yeah. I mean,
as you can probably
my
imagine.
experience against Madness when regular goblins is you can actually steal some game ones even with their explosive hands because of like War Marshal like buying you just enough time, and then post board games often boil down to did they have Firestorm. Firestorm's like unbeatable. This is a matchup I really wish we had Mug War Marshal. I think Snoop's gonna be really slow.
Yeah, Snoop is just not seen very good.
Yeah.
But neither has the other thing though.
Yeah.
So maybe we just play the munitions some combination of munitions expert and the
Mm-hmm.
what was I gonna say Mogwar
Mog War
Marshal.
Marshal, yeah.
And I think we probably want that 21st land.
Yeah.
And maybe that 21st land could just be a wasteland.
I can see that. But if we're adding experts, then we probably have to add a black source. I'd want to play second Badlands.
Right. So I think we can go two ways with it, right? Like we can either go Mog War Marshal and just like then we can play Wasteland, or play Munitions Expert, and then we probably have to add the Black Source.
Yeah.
What do you think it would be better? Access to the Wasteland, but then you don't have Munitions Expert, or Munitions Expert but no Wasteland?
I think adding experts probably better.
Just more value, right?
Yeah, it's like more synergistic with the deck's game plan. Magus,
Yeah,
Steve, their deck's mostly red. I don't think Magus does anything.
I found the most broken starts from them is like the ones involving anger.
Yeah. All right, so a Vengevine and a Rootwalla. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, at least we took care of the Vengevine. It's even nice if you can snag some from the hand.
What the hell is stern dismissal?
It's an answer for Leyland Void.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they have
And Reclaimer.
Ravager and Ox. They have Pyroclasm in their deck? What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they should be playing
Firestorm. They also have a stomping ground for some unfathomable reason.
So dismissal, I only know about that card because I know Dredge, for instance, has a tough time against Reclaimer decks,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because it's not uncommon for Reclaimer decks to have Leyline too. So
Oh,
dismissal
classic.
answers both.
Love drawing Leyline. Just my favorite.
Did you want to potentially incinerate a Urwalla there? Maybe not, I guess.
Oh, because they can bounce the Lackey. Yeah.
Or they can pump too. That's the other thing.
Oh, that's yeah. I'm too tilted to play well. I'm just gonna incinerate anyway because I need to draw a card and like draw something.
Yeah, I think we still have to do it at this point, but yeah.
Like, this is the thing. It's just like we don't have enough removal in the deck because we just like our jump pump's gone. We can't answer Angie's Ravager. Like, it's just fundamental flaw. Like they're just gonna hardcast it.
Yeah, I definitely think we're sorely missing the munitions expert based on these games.
Yep. Like I think of regular.
Are they just not running? What? Okay, they did. I don't know what's going on their side, but
All right, so
they have
now
3 Volks out.
I guess I'm just majoring for Muxus and I hope to draw land.
The funny thing, you can actually card cast Leyland right now.
Yeah. Oh, they hit Anger and another Ravager. Cool. Super dead.
Ooh, brutal. It's gonna be sad times if we hit a.
Okay.
So that gives us. Are we short?
No, we have
No,
exactly
we have
enough.
enough. We have to hit at least 4.
That was
That's not
good.
bad. Yeah, that's.
All right, if we had Squee in our deck, we'd win right here.
Yeah, but then you have to hit the 1 Sling Gang too, though. To be fair.
Yeah, but we could hit a matron, like 2
That's
matrons.
true.
Okay. I think we just go for another Muxus.
We do have the mana, I guess. Uchania Muxus for a Muxus is kind of funny.
Yeah. All right, now we brick. Okay.
I'm not sure it matters here. I think we might have won anyways.
Maybe.
I think that their deck has a really hard time punching through. Like based on my experience playing against it. Like once you fog up the board, like they can't really get through. It's
They
like
do have
really
Wonder in
funny.
their deck. I saw it there.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Is that something that's new,
I
or
I've
have
never
they
seen
been
I've
doing it
never
one?
seen it there.
I've never seen it as well.
Yeah, they get a lot of looks.
Uh-huh.
Would Recruiter fix this deck? Probably. But then you just like play the way more compact Recruiter Snoop package and you just don't bother with Food Chain. Yeah, they get to Faithless Looting, Ox, and Double Ravager. It's actually like incredibly likely that they hit.
How many did they have in their list? One or two?
I think one.
It's about 2% chance. Actually, a little bit more with all their draws.
Yeah, because they get to look at 3, 6, 7, 9, 10. They get to look at 13 cards. Granted, if oh no, never mind. Okay.
It's a lot. The other
They hit
enemy
it.
makes it. Oh, they popped the Wonder.
Cool. Uh,
This is brutal.
well, what did we learn? Praise be Mogwar Marshall. Card's better than all these other
Munitions,
stupid 2-drops that don't do anything.
I agree.
I think a Narco is fine. I hate Snoop. Like a Narco, we discounted a Once Upon a Time. We never played against Delver. I think we need a patch like Mons in the deck to like let us do stuff without
I think so too.
without.
It's just another removable card. It's just another high impact card.
Yeah, like you need something to like make it function. And I like Squee. Yeah, we would have won that game if we had Squee in our deck. I think we can go to one War Chief.
War Chief didn't feel great to me. Like
Yeah.
honestly,
Like yeah, I mean,
I can even see playing 0.
yeah, we could play a second sling. Like it was definitely a problem that we had only one sling. Can we play 2 Once Upon a Times?
I think you want 3. 2 is like okay. So you can kind of guarantee you don't draw the second one, but it doesn't happen much, and I think the mana fixing is more important.
The mana fixing is good, yeah. Oh, we have to add a land.
Yeah.
Anyway, 20 lands didn't feel great.
Yeah, I think we like the first league that we ran, the mana base felt perfect.
Yeah.
What it's worth.
Yeah. I think if we're playing War Marshals, I think only one Creator Maker is necessary.
She's like muck of the board, right?
Yeah. I want another Badlands? I don't think so. I think the first green source is really, really important. Like we definitely like we had spots where it's like we had Mountain, Ancient Tomb, and we drew green cards.
That happened against Chase.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's the part of a fundamental issue with this deck is that it can't sideboard well because the combo is so
It takes up a lot of slots.
it's not just that it takes a lot of slots, it's that like your deck construction is inflexible. Like if you
Yeah,
sideboard, your deck just becomes worse to such a degree that it stops functioning properly.
yeah, I can see that with what is it called? Because of cards like Muxus and Ringleader,
Yeah.
they need critical
Yeah, you need critical mass, like a
amount.
very serious critical max. Jack, I'm not paying 66 tickets for endurances, and I think, I mean, Mind Break Trap. We got turn one to like 4 times today. We wanted, we wanted those. Lawrence, I will say this has been the worst I've done with Food Chain. My first Food Chain leagues were like all 4-1s and 3-2s. What did my Yeah, okay. I don't even have my original list anymore. Has anyone just put Goblin Lackey, Volcanic Island, Days Ponder, and Goblins? Yes. Um, my friend, uh, my friend Marcelo did that for a while for fun. Yeah, so like it does. You can do that, Lawrence. But the thing is, eventually, you run it like the reason like the Goblins cards work is because of that kind of slot density thing. So if you're playing Days and Ponder, and presumably Brainstorm and Ringleader is kind of fucked. You know, like Brainstorm the 2 goblins on top of your deck and then Ringleader into them. That's really good. But you end up with kind of a maybe like all right, just for
I could see a list
all right,
like playing them,
let's
and you probably have to cut the Ringleader and the Muxus, right? Because then you just play like things like either like Sling Gang that don't need
goblin
a high
density.
density. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have it right here. Days Gobos. Yeah, it was literally just Days. This list is old as fuck. All right, let's. Do I unbrainstorms? I don't unbrainstorms. I have Volcanic Islands on Boda, but I don't want brainstorms. Who am I?
That's a crazy amount of goblin list that you have there.
Yeah, I do have a lot of goblins lists.
I literally have one slot that says like Reclaimer Elves.
Yeah, yeah. So,
But
some of these are gotta love Buoyant Boys. Oh my god, this is like the best deck. That all right. Well, currently it's in a state. It was in a playable state. Solnox made Yorion Goblins and we 4-1 with it. Oh yeah, we pod. All right, Lawrence. This was the best thing we ever did. This happened on stream. We were playing against Delver, and we had the Resto Conscripts combo in the deck, and so we go Zealous Conscripts, your Young Pyromancer, pod it for Goblin Chain Whirler. It was like the height of Magic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to this deck after. I think we were just talking about stuff, and so everything's wacky. All right. Also, oh man, I wanted to claim the firstborn village rights. This list was kind of cool.
Claim the Firstborn is a messed up card.
Yeah.
Just from my short time playing black red what's it called in standard with
Oh.
the cat, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
cat of it.
All right. So let's look at this stuff. So.
It was a standard that I played when Wilderness Reclamation was a legal jack.
What's the minimum number
So
of islands for days? There's 13 islands. I mean, this probably is not. Honestly, if you're doing this strategy, it's probably a Warren Instigator deck, right?
oh, so you can matron into like something nonsense.
Like you want to be as unfair as possible. Uh, Kirk seems out of
Is
place.
the creature density gonna be a problem though? Is my issue. Like,
Probably.
I see Mux is probably still just hits for like a million, like, or gets a bunch, like
Yeah.
on the average.
We'd have
But
to
I would
add,
imagine Ringleader's a lot worse.
probably have to add black in here somehow to, because I think you just have to play Slang Gang. That's hyphenated.
What's the reasoning for?
I mean, I guess like
Yeah,
the ringleaders are really good with Brainstorm to some extent.
Yeah.
Also good with Born Instigator.
I feel like though if you're doing that, you probably don't get full value though, right? Out of your brainstorms.
Probably.
It's not the end of the world though, but
God, this deck looks like something. I mean, like turn on Vial Daze You is like kind of good, maybe. I don't know. It's like okay.
this is looking like a mad science project now.
It's really no infrastructure to take goblins out, like John did the most. I think I know what you mean, but I'm not convinced I know what you mean. If like you can't, the Goblin Shell is a lot of cards because they all work together. Might even play Bolts over Starfires. What's like relevant 3x3s in the format? Dragon's Rage? Yeah. Yeah, Lawrence, I'm kind of dealing with that in Vintage. Similar questions of like, how much does this deck get better by adding like Ancestral, Time Walk, that kind of thing. But when it's
I feel like the vintage version.
It's something specific about goblins that's like the deck really cares about the specific composition of the entire 75. Where was I? Have I played Bomat Courier? I have not. Not. I don't think you want more like X ones that have to attack into the board. Play white and add Thalia. That was done years and years ago, and I've done it not recently. I think like once Modern Horizons 2 came out, it kind of solidified the shell. Like to me, Goblins looks like this. And I don't think Stompy decks are strong enough in Legacy right now to yeah, I Bomat hadn't been tested. I think what I would test before I would test Bomat would be Ragavan. Oh, and Vintage. Okay, yeah. The Vintage, this deck actually feels surprisingly strong in Vintage. It's actually a very fast combo deck.
Yeah, Recruiter's a hell of a card.
Recruiter's a hell of a card. Yeah. Like you race the Bazaar decks really quite consistently. I think I had a really high win rate against the Bazaar decks, and then I was like a coin flip against the other combo decks. Shops decks were all right, and then the worst matchups were like Breach was hard, and then I forget what the other thing was like difficult. Down to YOLO, take Gen List. All right, so if we take like, oh yeah, okay.
What Lawrence? Go ahead.
What Lawrence is talking about, I was thinking a lot about this with Callum, and we were talking about like what happens to goblins if you cut Vial, but you don't play Food Chain.
And you just max out on like good 1-drops, right?
Yeah, and we're like, okay, so what if Goblins was just straight up an aggro deck? Yeah.
Because then
Ragavan?
you would have 12 like must answer one drops, right? Like between Hierarch, Lackey, and potentially Ragavan.
Yeah. This is theoretical because I'm not going to pay 400 tickets for Ragavans or whatever.
Yeah, you could probably play because if we play Ragavan, you probably don't need Ringleader because it's gonna mess up the count anyways. The Goblin
I
deck
mean,
that you
this
have.
this list only had one ringleader anyway because the curve was so low.
But I think you can play Once Upon a Time too because it hits
Uh,
any of those 12, right?
yeah, but then that messes up Snoops and Muxus. Let me check GoPots real quick. How much is Ragavan? Yep. Yep. 100. It's more than 100. The standard printing is 142 tickets. What the fuck? Oh my god, it's so fucked up. All right, so I was talking to Cal about this, and yeah, so like we played Food Chain. It was like, okay, Food Chain's all right. Like, I mean, we did pretty badly tonight. We went like 2-3-1-4, but when I first started playing Food Chain Goblins, I had like 3-4-1s in a row or something, so it felt pretty strong. But we're like, okay, so what if we took the Food Chain idea of like Lackey plus Hierarch, and like some people were putting it in a Vial shell, but I didn't like playing Lackey, Hierarch, and Vial. Because I felt like I would just like auto lose to like engineered explosives. And so I didn't like.
Not to mention you have diminishing returns too.
Yeah, it's like if you view Goblins as fundamentally a more controlling deck, I think Goblins most neatly fits into combo control if you want to put it into a kind of a box. I describe it as a counterpuncher's deck. Faithless Looting and Anger. Oh, there is a card that I have always wanted to play just to see how stupid it would be, and that's Mass Hysteria. I don't know if people in chat know Mass Hysteria.
It's the red Concordian Crossroads.
Yeah, it's a red mana. It's just like 1 mana red enchantment. All creatures have haste. It's just like turn 1 Chrome Mox.
Lackey.
Yeah, Chrome Mox, Lackey, land. Everything has haste attack. Bam. But then it's just like, how much of the format, how many creatures in the format just get like really fucked up if they have haste? Like Ragavan with haste. I think I imagine
It does have haste.
Well, for 1 mana. Like even just like Tarmogoyf with haste is terrifying. Murktide Regent with haste is, oh my god. Lawrence, have you been building legacy decks lately? I haven't seen like much. Like I know you're writing for CFB, but I don't see you doing as much brewing on your own. You're kind of out of the game as far as I understand it. As far as like, you know, kind of on the grind. Yeah. Okay. So you're just peeking in, seeing what's going on here. Evergreen articles. I like it. How to get better at Magic. I have an article I'm working on now that I've titled "How to Press Water from Stone," which is all about like tiny optimizations you can make with goblins to just like increase win percentage, but over time, like little things that are really easy to miss. Yeah. The set density, the card density of the past year has been obscene. It's like so many things.
Yeah, if your deck doesn't get anything, it goes from it drops like 2 tiers.
Yeah, I said before Modern Horizons 2 got released, I was like, Modern Horizons 2 is a legacy deck firing squad. Where, you know, if your deck doesn't get anything, it's just categorically worse than it was. It's really hard for the format to shift in a way that it would make a deck that didn't get new cards better. Best Elder deck, best blue control deck, best Lotus Petal deck. Yep, it's those are. Is it? Yeah. Literally nerf brew controller developer. Except Breach. Remember Breach? Remember Breach existing for about up 2 months? Was Breach even legal for 2 months? That might be pushing it.
No, I don't think so. It was like a month at most.
Yeah, because I think I played 10 matches total against Breach. For the record, scoreboard, I went 6-4 against Breach. Skill game. Yeah. No, you're totally right, Lawrence. All the other decks kind of exist in the margins. Yeah. Yeah, it is the Delver shell is very over iterated, to put it lightly. Right. Random rules question that just appeared in my mind. Does a Narcomancer discount dash on Ragavan? I think so.
It depends. Is dash a casting cost or ability?
I think it's a cast because like you can counter it. It like goes on the stack like a spell.
I think it probably reduces it. I know, like
it's kind of cool.
I know, for instance, you know the I forgot what's the card, but the other bushwhacker, reckless bushwhacker, gets discounted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah, if Surge gets discounted and kicked, then I have to imagine Dash does.
Yeah, I think it's the same way. The only reason why I know this is because I've done it. Where in like EDH, I set up like a recruiter pile, and then the first card is like ringleader, and then everything else is like pile driver, frog tosser, veteran, what's it called, the Legion loyalist, and then the reckless bushwhacker.
Nice.
So I've been able to do that.
Well, that's a cool pile. That's a cool pile.
That's a cool pile.
That is neat.
This was before, obviously, Snoop.
Right. Yeah. You had to do funky stuff. I don't know. I think there's maybe something to try with like a Jund aggro goblins list, but I'm just like, I don't know what that deck is. What niche does that deck fill? Like, I have a pretty concrete answer of like, what does Vial Goblins have over, deck X, Y, or Z? Mario. Nathan, we're closing up. We had 2 pretty poor leagues with Food Chain. Now we're just kind of talking about deck building and how Legacy is an unusual beast.
We got turn 1 a bunch of times.
We got turn 1 a lot. But yeah, I think like the thing about like to give the pitch for Vial Goblins. Lawrence, I'm not playing Peep Fire, man. I'm not playing Punishing Fire Grove. No, thank you. I don't think Punishing Grove is good enough in any deck that plays lands fairly, and I think Chase gets away with it because he's Chase, and also Uro forgives a lot of like, it makes that tension not as painful because you just get extra land drops. Yeah, also Force of Will. Force of Will is a good one. Yeah. Oh, Dak. Yes. I'm enjoying Lawrence. I'm enjoying Lawrence throwing shitpost goblins ideas at me though.
I'm kind of surprised that he's the only one that plays Dak Faded in Legacy.
Stryfo Goblins. Yorion, Dak, Goblins with the P-Fire stuff. I mean, Yorion, Flicker Matron Ringleader is pretty good. Get a Kiki Jiki in there, flicker your Muxus with your Yorion. Just it's all good deck building, just makes sense. And then your deck, why win the game? We can win you can win even more. Game doesn't end until you have 10 cards in hand at the end of the game. That's that you're not allowed to win until you're more than maximum hand size.
We'll lose to turn one combo even harder.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's actually kind of interesting. Like I know JR XJ Cloud, he's been playing Yorion D&T again, and his strategy has just been like he calls his sideboard unhinged because it is. It's literally 14 combo haymakers. Like let me pull up his list. It's like ridiculous in terms of the combo hate density. But he's been doing really well with it, so it's kind of appealing. He 4-0'd a prelim, and then he has like 5-0, 4-1, 4-1 in leagues, or two 5-0s and a 4-1 in leagues. So it's like 4 ley lines, a macabre, and a cage, 2 mind break traps, 3 deafening silence, a peacekeeper, council's judgment, and a containment priest. So like council's judgment is like the only fair card in the sideboard. And like I kind of respect that.
Yeah, that's even more than me. I thought at one point I had 12. and it was like 12 anti-combo cards and like 3 of replicas at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's even more than me. That's pretty crazy.
And what am I in regular goblins? I'm like kind of close to that, but it's like weird because a lot of goblins is anti-combo cards overlap with fair decks to some extent, because like Pyroblast is for show and tell, but it's also for miracles, and then like Chalice is for LED, but also kind of for Delver. The Pyrokinesis is like the closest thing, but there's a lot of creature combo decks, right? Such as elves, you might say.
I know. Who would ever play that?
Yeah, what a weird deck to play. Yeah, we got turn 1 by Reanimator, Doomsday. What else? Spanish Inquisition. SI. Haven't seen. I can't remember the last time I played against SI. Madness. Did Madness turn 1 us? I don't think they turned 1 us, but they did have a very explosive turn 1. Tarian Mauler. Is that the changeling that gets +1/+1? Oh, you face mana. Okay. Is that the card? It's like a 3 mana. Yeah, it's like a 3 mana 2/2. 3 mana 2/2 trample changeling.
I don't even think it has trample, but I could be wrong.
I think it does. Oh no, it doesn't. Sad. I'd probably play. Honestly, I might play if it has trample. Goblins would love a trampler. That's why I have a soft spot for Legion Loyalist, but it's just not playable in Legacy, unfortunately.
You gotta get that pile driver through, right?
I do enjoy first strike trampling pile drivers. That is a life to lead.
Yeah, that's the pile I was just telling you about. Before Snoop got printed, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Goblin Recruiter, the ringleader into it's nice when it's deterministic, but ringleader into power driver, banneret, loyalist, and bushwhacker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. All right.
You do have to take 1 turn off though, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah. Well, Newton, I think I don't know. I might just like play a league with like regular goblins. It's like 1:30. I have to get up at what 11 tomorrow. I think I'll play a couple matches. Do you want to stay on, or are you gonna head out?
I think I'm good for now.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me on. It was a pleasure.
We had a lot of fun, even if we died.
I think just the thrill of seeing the Muxus flips was awesome.
Yeah, the Muxus flips are pretty fun. Yeah.
But thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. And anytime you want me to have me back, just let me know.
Will do. And I guess we got to make sure that people know, follow you on Twitch, hello_Newton, and Twitter, same thing, right?
Yes. I think on Twitter is just there's no underscore. It's just
Okay.
like not consistent, I guess. But thanks for the plug.
All right. Thanks so much, man.
All right.
Have a good night.
Good luck the rest of your
Yeah, let's
night
not get
and your
turn
week.
one.
For sure.
All right. Good night, man.